Hey guys, running a little late per usual. Hi Maria. I hope you weren't about to put out a search party for me. Gosh, I had a bow emergency, and as you can tell, it worked out great. I decided me and Daddy's disappointment here are going to wear our power bows today. I can't wait to see what her bow looks like. I love a bow, as we know. So let me see. Let me message her and make sure she's ready. All right, D disappointment. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to drop the link in the chat. I'm sure she knows. Y'all get your vodka. It's freaking Friday. It's the freaking weekend, baby. So let me copy this for her. Maria, are you the only one in here? Is it just me and you? Hi, Mimi. Hi, Sarah Z. Mimi, I'm sure your Christmas decorations are looking fantastic. Yes. I hope y'all watched it. It's so good. And I have a whole weird perspective in here and watchers. Y'all, please click that like button. Please subscribe. Better yet, become a member. You can see on the banner, super chats and cash apps are welcome. They make me so excited. And from now until December 22nd, half of all super chats and cash apps I get for this channel are going to, half of the proceeds are going to go to this charity called the Linus Project. I posted the link to their website in the description of this live. And it is a charity that helps give blankets to cold kids. And it just seemed really nice, and I would love for y'all to help me out with that. It would be something good we could do. So please keep that in mind. And what else? Other announcements today. I'm waiting to see. I'm waiting for Daddy's disappointment. So I hope y'all did what? Hi, Steven. You have 4 grandkids here tonight. From your profile picture, you don't look old enough to have 4 grandkids. So maybe until Daddy's disappointment gets here, we can read some Reddit stuff. Let's see. Because that's one of my favorite things to do, and that helps me figure out what's going on, honestly. Let's see. Hi, Fancy Feast. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm waiting on Daddy's disappointment to get here, and we'll discuss the Voyeur until she gets in here. I am going to let me keep dropping the link in case she's. Okay. Here we go. Let's go to Reddit and see what they're saying today until she gets with us here. Days is here. Oh, hi, Days. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay. Bottom feeders. Where did we last leave off? Let me find the ones that I've read already. Hi. I just saw somebody I thought. Hi, Just Zeus. Okay, we saw her and that was it. We saw that one. Okay, this one's about me, the first one. And I hate this word. I'm going to say the F word. It's one of my least favorite words. You'll never hear me say it, but I'm going to say it because it's a quote here. Someone put on Reddit, not another fundraiser from yet another CC. I guess that means content creator. You are as trustworthy as a wet Lily. You are as trustworthy as a wet fart. I hate that word. So the comments people have put, I don't give to fundraisers run by people who take secret videos in their friends' homes and pass them to an alcoholic. I I did that to use for blackmail. Wasn't for blackmail. Call me overly careful with my money, but there it is. So I do take offense to this because oh, there you are. There's the link again. D-Dis. I'll call you D-Dis. I hope you got your bow on. I can't wait to see it. I'm a little offended by this post because I have never done anything shady with money. I did give money to the YMCA of Ohio for domestic violence. And so no one can accuse me of ever doing anything fucked up with the money. Are the children going to get the toothbrushes, blankets, and toothbrushes? Oh boy, will they be happy. I mean, if you're cold and you need a blanket, you will be happy. Oh, here's she is. Daddy D. Oh, look at you. Boobs and bows. I love it.
Oh, sorry. They get everywhere.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you? I'm on my phone, so I'm hoping you guys can hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you great, or I can.
Okay, good.
So I was reading a post on Reddit till you got in here. Do you want me to finish doing that, or do you want to jump right in?
Whatever you prefer.
I'm just going to read this one real quick because they were talking crap about me doing a fundraiser, and I would like to address that. Somebody put, let me make this abundantly clear. You have lied and lied repeatedly, but we're supposed to send you money for charity. I think not, you delusional, dizzy dumbass. Now have a Merry Christmas. I don't think I've lied over and over again. Somebody said, did you see Real begging for rent money? Shaking my head. Someone said, I don't watch him anymore, blah, blah. Now they're talking about AT2. I commented at some point. Somebody said, I just watched Lily's pitch. Any future super chats, Lily will keep half and donate the other half to a reputable charity. What a deal for those who don't have time to just donate on their own. Lily makes it out by pocketing 50% and earns the tax write-off too. What a giving, generous thing to do, Lily. Okay, so I do like making money from this as part of a side hustle. That is not a crime. And the money goes to helping pay for StreamYard. It will eventually go to, I don't have to defend myself. I mean, somebody said, oh, your panelist is so damn sexy. What's her backstory? We'll get to that in 1 second when I finish my rant here. If Lily wanted subs to donate, then put the links to the charities in the chat or the community page. You know what? If that person wants to start their own YouTube page, they can. If only half the proceeds are going to the Linus Project, so she's keeping half for herself. Yes, like other content creators do. It's not a crime to make money doing this. Not that I'm making tons of money, but it's not a crime to do that. I've been watching Lily replay for a few months and enjoy it. However, the amount of adverts in her videos has now made it unwatchable. Tell me I don't know what that, the advertisements. Oh, I just put it on advertise. Blah, blah. So finally I commented on here at some point and I said, as far as fundraising goes, I've always kept my word. I posted the receipt of the donation to the YMCA of Cincinnati for domestic violence. How dare you? I have never done any financial scam nor would I. Fuck you. And somebody put, now make sure to read our little Reddit chat on your show tomorrow since you're such a fan. So I just did that. Anyway, so our sexy panelist today, she is everybody's favorite person that disappoints daddies all over the place, and I can see why.
Just living my truth, and I'm sorry if the boobs keep popping in.
Oh no, we love boobs on this channel. So you have a podcast that I've never listened to. What is the name of it?
Madam's Hoes and Gigolos.
What's it called?
Madam's Hoes and Gigolos.
I love that. And what's it about?
We talk about sex work, the history of sex work, people involved in the sexual revolution, the LGBTQIA community. We we just talked around the stigma of sex work and heroes in sex work, whether it be Billie Holiday, who was a sex worker, or Mata Hari, who was an undercover spy, also a sex worker. And we just try to discuss the history and legitimize sex work.
I think sex work should be legal, to be honest with you, because if it's legal, it can be safe, a lot safer
Yes.
than it is. And I mean, and it's if you want to do that, it's an exchange of services. Like you're paying someone for service.
We've actually broken down statistics when Rhode Island accidentally made sex work legal, and
I
how
accidentally do that. That sounds like
it was
something Jen would do.
lazy legislation. Lazy legislation made sex work legal, and basically they weren't allowed to solicit themselves on the streets, but they were allowed to solicit themselves from homes. And by doing that, sex work became legal, and it was legal for at least 20 years. And, you know, assaults and crimes did drop. And so
Yeah.
we talked about that in the history and what it takes to legalize sex. Like, why is I think it's Trump, Nevada, is allowed to have, sex work is legal there, but what is the ramifications of having sex work legal in America? And we've even gone down to the little history of the chicken house, the chicken ranch in Texas, and how they used to have some kind of, they were illegal, a little, I don't want to call it a whorehouse, but that's how they referred it. They were a brothel in the history, and even discussing how like everybody was fine with it. They donated to the community, but then politics got involved and shut it down. And Burt Reynolds and Dolly Parton made a great movie about it.
I've seen that, The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas. I love it.
So we discuss that. We break it down, whether it's great people in history who are written out of history because of either their sexual preference, their race, or their sexual history.
Wow.
So
and prostitution is the oldest profession.
It is the oldest profession. And, a lot of things are up into interpretation when it comes to the Bible and shaming and all of that. So we always break it down, and we kind of try to discuss the patriarchy and smash the patriarchy, because sex is definitely very one-sided when it comes to men.
Fascinating. I would love to come on with you and talk about that sometime.
Yeah, anytime.
So how did you get interested in that topic? And I don't want to, and this is a personal question, and I don't mean it offensively. Do you have experience in sex work, or?
I have definitely charmed a few wallets.
Oh, thank you, Tammy. Thank you so much. I get so excited when it makes me feel so good that people give super chats that enjoy my content, and this half of that is going to go to a worthy cause, and half of it is going to go to buy me more bows and Tito's. Thank you, Tammy. I appreciate it so much. That's wonderful of you. Yes. So I'm sorry. You do have a little bit of experience.
I have had some experience. So basically, it was just me. I mean, I feel like now we're on this cycle, and we're on this repeated cycle of just, whether it's one thing happening in the community or, in the country, it's always something, whether it's women, just like abortion rights right now, that's another thing with Roe versus Wade. We're just on a repeated cycle. And the best thing to do is to learn the actual history. Like one of our episodes, we just, we went through a pandemic. So we actually compared the Spanish flu and dating and what it was like back in 1980 1918 versus now with COVID, and compared the two different pandemics and what the lifestyle was like back then versus what dating was like now, versus with how porn was a lot easier. It's
so good. It has all the things I love, like sex, history. Can you type the link and post it in the chat?
I can learn. I'm not really a YouTuber. So
okay. Okay. Hold on. Well, I'll figure it out.
Too advanced for me.
I'll put a link to it in the comments or something after we get done, because I'm very interested in that.
Yeah, it's a fun topic.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, it's a fun topic. I got to talk with Stormy Daniels. Our first episode we ever kicked off was with Stormy Daniels. great person. So, we just have fun. So when you offered this to me, I was like, oh, let's discuss voyeurism. Let's discuss it. You picked the right person.
Well, I actually got in touch with Heidi Fleiss and had her calling me, and I was trying to get her. I finally blew her up on Twitter because have you ever seen that documentary that was done about like 10 years ago about her trying to open a brothel?
I didn't know there was a documentary, but I did read a lot about it. It was just like,
it's a really good documentary. It's called the Crystal Madam of, I don't know, or something. But so I kept talking about her on Twitter, and the whole story is very bizarre because all she was really interested in was she's real into birds now, and
I've seen that.
She told me to reach out to this woman who stole her birds, and I did because it was like surreal. Like she would, like my phone would ring at like midnight and it's Heidi Fleiss, I'm like, she would call me at weird hours and stuff. But she told me to reach out to this woman who I'm hoping will come on at some point. And she actually told, I don't want to give away too much because it's, but anyway, it was, I ended up becoming friends with the woman who supposedly stole the birds, and she had some very interesting stories to tell about driving to Bon Aqua, Tennessee, and coming back with 4 parrots in her Mercedes with Heidi Fleiss, and like it was very interesting. But Heidi would not. I don't know. I tried to talk her into coming on here, and she just really kind of Heidi's all about some Heidi, and she's very smart. She's very, very smart.
Well, you have to be able to do what she pulled off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but she anyway, there's just we'll talk about it privately sometime, or maybe on the podcast, or maybe
I look forward to this conversation.
Anyway, so you and I watched, and I hope some other people watched it, a documentary called Voyeur on Netflix. And the first time I watched it, until I really thought about it, I actually watched it twice, because when I really thought about it, I'm like, this is, the whole thing kind of fascinated me when I thought about it in a different way. So what was your overall, did you think it was interesting?
I did think it was interesting. I thought when I watched it, I was like looking at these old men, and I think I even and watching them transition from, like a regular looking guy who kind of reminded me, like one reminded me of Tom Cruise in the movie Tropic Thunder when he's that seedy agent looking guy.
Yeah.
That's all I saw. And then he transitioned into, Colonel Sanders at some point. But it was interesting how he tried to make himself the hero and minimize how invasive and what he was really doing. Like he was intruding, and what he was doing is essentially a crime, and he's downplaying it.
None of it may have happened if you'll follow my logic here. My husband and I were like, okay, so what it's about, y'all, if you haven't seen it, it's about, there's this writer, and his first name is Gay. I forgot what his last name is, but he's a hot writer. What is it? Talese.
Yeah.
Okay. So he, has had all kinds of articles published in the New Yorker. I actually did not, neither one of the men in this are likable, in my opinion. He is very full of himself. He wrote a bunch of books called Thy Neighbor's Wife, which were, they were, hold on, my friend who also watched it. My friend that's watching just texted me and said, "This bitch is very smart." I think she's talking about you, not me. Yeah, and my friend that's here was like, "I can tell she's smart.
Thanks,
she sounds like nobody else you ever talked to on here." So she's used to me talking to Jen or something. Anyway, so this guy Gay, who is the writer, and he wrote another series. It's a series of books. He decided he was going to go across America and find out about sex. And so he wrote this series of books called Thy Neighbor's Wife. And then he also went to a commune or a nudist colony where they also had sex freely with people. And he's married, has 2 kids, and stayed there for a while and wrote about that experience. And he participated. So it sounded to me like this was just an excuse to cheat. I mean, I'm sure he was interested in it, but it's kind of, his wife was not happy about it. So he's going around the country cheating on his wife and writing about it. And this guy wrote him a letter in like 1980 something. And the guy who wrote him a letter said that he had bought this hotel for the sole purpose of, Betty wrote it, gay still dresses like a 50s ad man. Well, his dad was a tailor. His dress is important. And that is the thing
he did make. That is the thing he did say.
I love it how the other guy and his wife, like in their house, dress up like in tuxedos and stuff when Gay is coming over, because he's always in a suit and stuff. Like, so anyway, so Gay starts talking with this guy. And so this guy said he bought the hotel specifically for this purpose, and that there is a ventilation system like in the attic, and he can go up in the attic and see into every single room when people check in. And that he's been doing this. He spends all kinds of time up there doing this. He started doing this as a child with his aunt, who apparently he was attracted to. He started being a voyeur with her. And
is
Gay...
This the woman with red hair and freckles that he never kw about? Was that his aunt?
He never knew what a freckle was. What do you mean you don't know what a freckle is? And that was the woman, his aunt. So
I didn't realize that was his aunt.
Yeah, the first woman. So then Gay, at some point in the 1980s, says that he goes to this hotel and that I'll never trust a vent in a hotel again. And that he meets this guy in person, and that he shows him how to crawl into the vent system and do this. And while they're doing this, he's looking into a room, and there is a woman giving a guy a blowjob, and the voyeur, I forgot the other guy's name even. What is his name besides the voyeur?
Oh my God. Gerald? Wasn't it Gerald?
Maybe, but okay. So the voyeur, he said, and all of a sudden he yanked him back, and Gay's tie, because he always has a tie on. He always dresses like he's, Truman Capote or something, going to breakfast at Tiffany's. And his tie is hanging through the vent, like inches away from her face, and they have to yank him back up so that the people don't see him. So Gay says that he's been to this hotel. So they continue corresponding for years, and they don't want to go ahead with publishing the story yet because of the statute of limitations, and this is a crime and whatnot. And then he tells several stories of things that he sees in the hotel, the voyeur, to Gay, about how he, what did he do? And some of that, like he would leave a suitcase in the closets, and then when people were checking in up front, he'd make sure they heard him on the phone being like, somebody left $1,000 suitcase that's worth $1,000 in the closet, and then spy on them to see what they would do. He said he left dildos in the room to see if women would use them, which is a little sus. Like, if you saw a dildo in your hotel room, would you use it?
Absolutely not.
Because that sounded a little like, I'm not sure. Most women I know would not. I mean, unless was it wrapped up in the box? Did it say to you? Like, did it have your name on it? I would not use it personally. I bring my own. I travel with my own.
It's funny, and this might be
travel with
TMI, but somebody. Oh, do you see my phone? Somebody once gifted me a dildo in a box as a birthday present, and I've still never used it.
Was it a new one?
Yeah, it was new. Oh. And I don't know, like, he took me out on a date for my birthday and thought, like, oh, happy birthday, here's your gift. And it just was so off-putting to me that he thought on our first date that this was the appropriate gift. That I still have never even.
What'd you say?
I faked a headache and left. No,
you opened the dildo and said, "Oh my God, I have a headache. I have to go."
No, I forget. That was a different time with someone else.
That was somebody, another dildo gift.
I had my daughter call me in a panic and fake this whole scene, so I left. It's just like, this is my birthday, and this guy, my first date, he gives me a vibrator. Like, you should have just stuck with the tapan grill and the sake. It would have been better
Yeah,
than
like just a nice dinner for, yeah, he was being
and a pair of
presumptuous. He
double
thought y'all were
ears.
gonna have a good time afterwards. Um, so according to this guy, women utilized the dildos that they found in their rooms. Okay, Voyeur. And so he also,
I'm sorry. When did he say all of this was happening again?
so this is like from the 1960s to the 1980s, where he
Okay.
is doing all this research, and he even shows days, wait for it, just wait, because I have a whole tangent about my theory on this. So it even shows on his notes. He almost got me with this because I thought, well, maybe he is doing scientific research, because when he showed the notes of being like, it was like he was showing how couples changed with the times, like older black man, white female, black female, like, describing the people, what they were wearing, what they were doing, stuff like that. And it looked like a scientific chart. And, things changed from the 60s to the 80s. So I'm like, well, maybe it is kind of, and it's not ethical, but maybe part of him is kind of a researcher. So, so he, he ends up telling this horrible story. Do you want to tell the story that he tells about the woman?
Of the violence.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, he ends up telling this story about how he witnessed a domestic incident, and how the man had left her.
Well, no, first of all, what did he do before the incident to make the incident happen?
Oh, he hid the stash.
Yeah,
I
so
don't
this
know
guy
what words
was
I can use on YouTube. So I'm trying to be as
no,
safe
so
as
this guy
possible.
was slinging, according to Mr. Voyeur, Mr. Dildo, maybe we'll call him that. This guy was slinging drugs out of his hotel room, and he did, yeah. So he did not. He has a son, I guess, that's an addict. He was really upset about that. He saw that the guy hid the drugs in the vent. So when the guy was not there, he sneaks into the room and he flushes his whole stash down the toilet. So then the guy comes back with his girlfriend and realizes it's gone, and beats her ass and kills her. It was a murder. So he says he witnessed that and just stayed up there watching. And that was just when that happened. Like, I kind of got the heebies sitting there listening to that, because I don't know. And then the part where he said that he wasn't always masturbating, he was researching, because you can only masturbate like 2 times a day, sometimes 5. And anyway, so he says he saw all this stuff, and Gay finally decides it's time to publish this. So how are you feeling about the Voyeur's personality so far at this point?
I think he definitely wants to be in it for the notoriety. Like, he feels like he has stories to tell and he's the one to tell it. And he's this important person. He's definitely self-involved, and he definitely is, well, I have this and I have that, and like that people need to hear his voice. He
And his
definitely
wives, he found 2 wives that were apparently okay with this, according to him. And his wife on there is kind of the hero of the whole thing, where she's just like, calm down, Gerald, or whatever, like the whole
right.
time.
I love you.
He said while he was up there
Okay.
watching people, she would go up and bring him sandwiches and shit. So then Gade decides that they're going to write a book about this. And the Voyeur sends him all of his notes and everything that he's made. And the first thing he starts noticing, there's diary entries from every day, like hundreds and hundreds pages of it. And they start in 1966. So Gay notices something, that the guy did not buy the hotel till 1969. And so all this stuff written down from 1966, like, when did that happen? You didn't even own the hotel then. And the guy kind of explains it, oh, that's no big deal. I inverted one of the numbers, like it's just a mistake. But if you also have notes from 1969, what was going on? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so Gay just decides to go with it, that it could have been and just an inverted number or whatever, an error. And they end up writing a book. Oh, and also the guy said that in 1980 something, he is very specific that he sold the hotel to a Korean family, and that he does not want the name of the hotel mentioned because he does not want it to cause damage to the business now for the new owners. And they find out also that the hotel has since been torn down. So it's okay to mention the name of the hotel now. What days? We all know people like this, but just wait. So Gay is pissed about, and I think that's kind of like, especially 1969, like you remember kind of the end of the decade. Like, did you buy the hotel almost in 1970, or was it in the middle of the 60s? Like, I think that's kind of a big detail, don't you?
I mean, you're asking, I can't remember when I bought my house, to be honest with you. I think it was like 7 years ago.
Yeah. But it's like, if you didn't buy it till 1969 and you have notes from 1969, what did you write down that you said happened in 1966? Where did that come from?
Right.
So Gay goes to visit them, and every time Gay goes to visit them, the voyeur he puts on like a suit and tie, which are not as classy as Gay's, and he makes his poor wife like dress up in her finest muumuu, and like they're greeting the King of England or something. And Gay comes over to his house, and what'd you think of his house and the dolls?
You know, I'm partial to a man who's going to scream expletives from a wheelchair thing taking him down the stairs.
That was my favorite part too.
It's just like, you know, it just warmed my heart the way Tony Soprano's mother used to yell at him as she would come down the stairs.
And it goes like, it takes him like 30 minutes to get down the stairs. He has one of those like chairlift things, and it literally takes his fat ass about 30 minutes to get down there. And he's pissed at this point. We're skipping ahead a little bit, but he's shouting how pissed he is and cussing, like going turtle speed. Like if he had a pet turtle racing him down the steps, the turtle would have won. And he's cussing like he's a big man, like mad as hell in his chairlift. So his house, when Gay goes there are a lot of there's a lot of dolls, and like all over the house, this big collection.
Hold on,
and then
I'm gonna turn on a light because I see I'm getting
you're kind of
dark
We
here.
can't see your pretty face.
Hold on, let me.
And you're pretty
keep
bow.
talking. I know it. I went out and bought this just for today. Hold on, let me figure out how to. There, I'll be right back. I'm gonna turn on the light.
So there's dolls everywhere, and he makes Gay go to the garage where he also has this baseball card collection, and he makes Gay look at all of it, and Gay clearly does not give a shit, and Gay clearly thinks this guy is like trash, pretty much, and every card that he picks up, he's like, this one's worth $1 million, this one's worth $5 million, this one, and I've got 6 of them, and everything is worth all this money. And Gay doesn't know about baseball cards or anything, so he doesn't know if it's true or not. And then he shows them like his extensive coin collection, and it's just insane. So like every single baseball card, everything is worth all this money, all this money, all this money. And he makes Gay go around looking at all of the cards in detail. And so then when he tells Gay when he sold the motel, in 1980, whatever, I want to say like 89 or something, he supposedly, then there's pictures from at some point that were taken where the square where the vents were in the ceiling are plastered over. And there's photos of this. So Gay goes back to New York, and they also go and visit like the grounds where the hotel has been torn down and flattened. Gay goes back to New York, and he writes an article in the New Yorker. He goes to visit the lady at the New Yorker. Gay's kind of creepy himself. Like,
okay, Gay reminds me of a Sidney Gottlieb. And Sidney Gottlieb, I don't know if anybody knows who he was. He worked for the CIA, and he did an undercover mission with George White, where they would just randomly drug people with LSD, and they would hire sex workers to have sex with these men and then drug them to practice mind control after World War I and II. And
I can see Gay doing that.
yeah, he totally reminded me of Sidney Gottlieb. So he was basically scoring LSD from like Sweden for the country and CIA, and the CIA had sex workers on their payroll because they would get paid to do their job and then secretly drug them. And then Gerald, I want to say his name is Gerald, reminds me of George White, who was the informant taking all the notes, where he sat behind a two-way mirror on a bucket. So if he had to like go to the restroom, he would just go in this bucket as he's watching these sex workers do what they're supposed to do. And he had a pitcher of martini, and all he would do is sit behind this wall drinking and watch people have sex.
Living his best life.
Living his best life. That's MK Ultra and Operation Midnight. If
MK Ultra, I am fascinated about that.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother. Oh yeah, MK Ultra. So after he looks at the baseball cards, they go to where the hotel has been flattened, and they see that, and then Gay obviously thinks he's a lot better than these people. Like, and these people get that vibe. That's why he makes his poor wife dress up in ball gowns, and he puts on like a suit, just like. Anyway, so
I feel like Gay would be happy if you left out a cheese platter for him, though. Give him a good charcuterie board. I feel like
Gay would rather die than go to that house. He's only going for the article. I feel like he would never be seen in public with these people.
But he brought them roses.
Because to show them like I can afford roses and you guys can't. Like, this is how classy I am, and I would rather be hanging out with I don't know, someone very famous in New York, or with Andrew Lloyd Webber or something, than coming here, like. So he goes back to New York, pitches this article idea to an editor at the New Yorker, and she kind of calls him a creep, and because the whole thing is kind of icky. And the article is published, and at this point, they've also written a book. So the article was supposed to be like a prelude to the book. And so he specifically tells Gerald not to talk to the press, not to tell anybody anything. And what does Gerald do? Gerald talks to anyone and everyone that after the article comes out that calls the house, and his wife is like, get off the phone. And he's sitting there being like, he reminds me of how some of the people do on YouTube when they're like, there's something going on and I can't, give details, but about what's going on. And all I can tell you is that, possibly I watched people have sex at the hotel, but I can't confirm or and his wife is like, and Gay has to come back down there and handle him and be like, hey, stop talking to people. Shut up. And so I bet they never let Gay in Studio 54. And I would like to know about that. I bet he threw a fucking fit at the front door if they didn't. So after the book drops and stuff, Gay kind of stops answering Gerald's calls until he gets, before that, Gerald starts getting, once the article is published, and I had never heard about this till I watched the documentary, but he's walking around his house talking about how it's everywhere. It's everywhere. It's in Minnesota. It's, everywhere. All hell's going to break loose. And when he gets mad at Gay is because Gay put at the end of the article that he showed off his baseball card collection so that he could sell it. And that really pisses Gerald off. And that's when he starts
Yes,
going down
it
his
does.
stair chair slowly, cussing Gay out. And, it goes, and then we see the back of him and he's still cussing. And wants to have a serious talk with him. Gay will not answer the phone. Until Gay gets an email from someone a reporter at some magazine who said that he did some fact checking, and during all of these years that Gerald was supposedly doing this, he sold the hotel to somebody named, they gave the guy's name, let's say it was Joe Smith or whatever, in like 1981 or something. So he didn't even own it during this whole time. So, and Gay talks about you're unwise to have one source. And I don't know. I just think it's fascinating because I think he got one over on Gay because Gay is such an experienced reporter. Like the first thing you do is fact check. You know what I mean? And he didn't fact check any of this. He just took this guy's word for it and never, like, it was very easy to look up the public records.
Well, it seemed like he was very dependent on the New Yorker fact checkers. Like, oh,
Yeah.
they'll run it by them and call him, and then they'll verify it with him.
And well, maybe they trusted him so much, but someone should have fact checked it, and this reporter did. And it's like he didn't even own the hotel at this point, and so Gay's pissed. And Gerald's defense about this is that he sold the hotel to the friend. He didn't want to mention the friend's name in the story because it was embarrassing to him, and he still had access to the attic, and they would go do this together. I don't know if that's true. And so Gerald, who did not call the police when he saw a woman getting murdered and watched from the vent, calls the police when he gets a phone call of someone saying, now you're the one being watched. He calls the police crying like a bitch, and they come over and comfort him and protect him. But you don't call the police when you saw the woman getting murdered. And when he's talking about
the
that
fact that
go ahead.
was the reason why this woman potentially
Yes.
got murdered.
And when he was talking about that and watching her ass get beat, he said, I was just thinking, did something I do have something to do with this? Yes.
But that never even made sense to me because it was like he was the owner of the hotel. Guy was gone. Why didn't he call the police? Like, how did what happened to the girl? What happened to the body? They just
so that's the whole thing. So after he flushed the stash, the boyfriend supposedly the boyfriend comes in, looks for it, can't find it, thinks that the girlfriend took it. He sits there and watches him beat the shit out of the girlfriend and strangle her, watches her pass out. The maid finds her the next day dead in the room. Previously, before the book and stuff, Gay tries to find out because it could be fairly easy because he had the date written down of when this supposedly happened to find in that area a woman who was murdered in a hotel room on this date in this year. That would not be a hard record to look up. He can't find it. So there would be some record of that, I believe, if that happened. But Gay still goes ahead with the book. So then when he finds out, when this guy sends him this email and is like, I fact checked this and this is not correct, blah, 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 blah. And okay, so this is where Gay gets pissed. He goes on like he goes kind of on a press tour and he denounces the book, saying like, don't even read it. This guy, I don't trust him. He lied, blah, blah, blah. Yes, he did say he thought he saw her still breathing when he was up in the vents, but apparently, according to him, she was not, because she was dead the next day. He still did not call the police when he saw her getting choked out, but when he gets a little prank phone call,
he knew the assailant was gone, but still left her there.
Yeah, he left her there and again doesn't call the police while this girl's getting her ass beat, but badly to the point where she can tell that, or he can tell that she might be dead, but he gets a prank call and it's 911 right away, So anyway, so so Gay goes on a press tour, denounces the book, says it's possible, it's bullshit. He didn't realize this. When the man first laid a finger on that woman, he should have been. Yeah, he should have, but according to him, he did not.
He should have came through that roof, through that vent, and said, "No, motherfucker."
And he didn't even have to expose himself as being in the vent at that time. He could have knocked on the door and been like, "Hey, we," made up any excuse to knock on the door and stop it. Like, just, "Hey, we heard some noise in here. Hey, I own this hotel. Like, we need to fumigate," like anything. But he didn't. But when he gets prank called, the police are the first person he calls. But no one could find any record of a woman dying on that day in that area in a hotel. So when Gay denounces this book, like, there are no sales for it or anything because, he finds out he didn't even own the hotel. It's very suspect that not only does Gerald like to spy on someone, he met a friend that also likes to do this, and that they both go up to the vents together and do all this. So what my husband said, because I was talking to him, because I'm like, God, like, if he didn't even own the hotel, like, did any of this ever happen? Because where did the Korean family that he sold it to come in? So my husband's theory is that Gay never visited the hotel and just said that. So if Gay never went to the hotel and saw the vent system, then it could all have been a lie. Like, the guy could have, you know what I'm saying? And he was like, think about it. He was like, think about it. He was like, if you're like, first of all, it would be kind of hard for a tie to go through a vent.
Right.
And if it's that far down where it's a couple inches from the girl's face, wouldn't she notice
that was a big embellishment. I think they were just two people that had a fetish, and they embellished on this fetish to sell a story.
But what if Gay never went and just said that to kind of cover his own ass? And then it's like, okay, so when were the vents covered up? Because you didn't own the hotel when you said that you owned the hotel when it was sold to the Korean family. And that's when you covered the vents up. Did you cover them up when you sold it to your friend? Did he cover them up? Were they ever there? Like, did any of it ever happen? Because if Gay is lying, which once my husband put it to me like that, I'm like, maybe Gay was lying about it and none of this ever happened.
Yeah, I just thought they were two men with a fetish, and they were both in on this fetish together. And I thought one had this ego where he wanted to tell this story, and he embellished the story to make himself sound great and grand, but these men had this insidious, well, I don't want to kink shame, but what they did wasn't ethical. But boy, if done correctly, it's
well, people like, there's nothing wrong with being it's not ethical to spy on people
without consent,
right? But
so
I'm kind of
what they were doing was wrong.
But I kind of think Gay never did that. I think that he's lying too. If he's lying, like, and the whole vents thing, when he said he covered the vents when it was sold to the Korean family, you didn't own it. Was there a Korean family? Because it was sold to this dude. So when were the vents covered up? Were they ever open? Like, and if Gay's lying, then it means none of this ever happened.
Well, that's true. None of this ever did happen. I mean, now it makes me wonder. I mean,
and don't you think Gay would have taken a photograph or something of the upstairs of it to prove he was there?
You would think now you're asking the questions, and here I was convinced these were just two men with a fetish.
I think there are two men.
I'm like,
I think Gabe
Damn it,
was.
Gabe.
I mean, even if he wasn't going to publish the article already, like I'm assuming he would have taken a camera and been like, "This is what it looks like upstairs in this vent system." Like, you know what I mean? Like, wouldn't you?
Right. Or any one of them, because Wyna took thorough notes for research purposes. So how did he not take? Did he think that a photograph would incriminate him on his peeping crimes? Is
But if
that
they
why
waited
he
for the
didn't do
statute
it?
of limitations to, that's the whole
Right,
thing. They're
but
waiting.
what if he got caught slipping like they almost did? What if he got caught slipping and then there was some type of raid and they found these photos? I mean, of course they would find the area, so maybe he thought photos would just incriminate him, and so they didn't
But Gay
take
had nothing to
photos.
do with it. No one would have ever known he
Right,
was there, and you would have think he would have just stood back, like, and it's before camera phones and stuff, but just with a regular camera and click. Here's a picture of what this attic area looks like, and the steps
right.
going up to it.
I need to go find light again. I'm not in my house. Like I'm working tonight. I'm on call, so the hospital I work for provides me housing, and
Mm-hmm.
so I'm at the house that they provide me when I'm on duty. So let me
Oh,
find
that's
a
cool.
good. Yeah, but then the lights are too bright because they're all like fluorescent lights. I'm sorry, I'm interrupting the stream on my stupid stuff, but
I know you're fine.
there.
That's a
But
great
the
light right
lights are
there.
all so bright that I'm just like, oh, okay, I'm gonna sit in
That looks
spots
great
here.
right there.
Okay, I'm here now. Sorry, guys, but
But
it's
I
not
just
my
think with
house.
them not finding a record of the woman's death, because that would be easy to find, and there being no evidence Gay was ever there. Like Gay would have taken a photo. Like, did you see his like file system and all of the clippings, like in detailed stuff? I think that they are both narcissistic, weirdo
Yeah,
liars.
yeah. I both think that they have some kind of fetish when it comes to, the
Gay obviously wants
voyeurism,
to have sex with as many people as
and they
possible.
right, and they have egos, and
It
so
made
they have to be.
I was disgusted by both of them at the end of it. And like when they're
Uh,
laying out in the sun talking, it's obvious that they hate each other. And
oh my God, when they were asking the people doing the production the questions, and Gay was like, "Well, you can't ask him that in front of me. He's not going to give you an honest answer." Like he wanted that fight. He was tasting Gerald's blood, and
Gay
he
thinks he
wanted
is
it.
better than everyone, every single
Yes,
person.
yes. So
So,
I was just like, "Damn, this guy is really serious about this."
and now Gay will not. Maybe we should reach out to Gerald for an interview because I bet he would love to talk about it.
He likes redheads.
And there he does. He loves a redhead
Right?
and boobs.
He
There you
has like a redhead. He
you
hasn't
could
been.
be the queen of the dolls and baseball cards. You can get that other woman out of there.
What was the other woman's name?
I don't remember. I don't think she
With
has a
her,
name.
yeah, with her fried
Gerald's wife,
fur.
like
Yeah.
her name is just
Like,
inflate my ego.
oh, that poor woman.
That, yeah, it is. So just overall, like at the end of it, I was like, I think the whole thing was bullshit, and they got caught. Somebody said do some fake freckles. Yeah, when we contact him, just FaceTime him with a few freckles there.
And didn't he say she was like curvy and had really big boobs? I got this, Lily. I got this.
She was curvy. He has a no. The news clipping they found of a murder was a murder that took place at another hotel in the area, and it may have been the same day. It was at least the same year, but it was a very similar story. So they were like, did Gerald get like his story from reading this? But it wasn't a story that happened at his hotel. So that's very suspect to me. And I
Yeah,
don't know.
I don't know. I wouldn't. If I listen to my partner talk about letting another woman die, I would be outraged. I think that's a deal breaker for me.
Yeah, and it's like wife, after he told her about it, didn't be like, hey, like maybe your hobby's like, you think we should call somebody, but don't think if they get a prank phone call, they're not on the phone with the police right away.
Right.
It's just insane.
Yeah.
So the whole thing was insane, and I'm just leaning towards they are both lying, narcissistic weirdos, and
I
gay very much.
absolutely get where you're coming from, and I didn't even think of that angle until I was just like, oh, these are just two men with inconsistent stories that just want to be some sort of notoriety and, you know, exploit their sexual fetish. I found the problem in how they tried to minimize how problematic the behavior was. With, oh, I'm doing it for research purposes.
He almost got me with the research purposes, though. When I saw like the scientific graph, I'm like, okay, maybe part of it is a research thing. Like it's a perverted thing. Like it was one of those. Like in the beginning, I kind of got the heebies watching it. Like I don't know.
I think I think all of this was just a ruse in case if he ever did get caught, it was his way of setting up a defense. To be honest,
I don't think he ever did any of it.
Yeah, I mean, well, thinking of it now, okay, maybe.
I
But
think
in my
they
mind,
both
when I
are
was watching
lying
it,
liar faces.
I really wanted fried chicken afterwards.
Yeah, and
then I
that's
was
a
just like,
bizarre story too.
to get mad over wiping fried chicken on the bedspread.
Yeah, and to get that furious about it, and then like it's not. I'm sorry, I don't know any woman that would use a random dildo she found in a hotel room.
No, no. Or what was, or the dogs. He was really irate about dogs. It was like, sir, somebody was just murdered in your hotel and you're not pissed about that? You didn't even call the police, but you are outraged over a dog? What is your problem?
And the people that he thought were attractive, that he was watching having sex, he goes outside and gets in his car and turns the headlights on in their room so that they have to turn the lights on. And you still don't intervene when this woman is getting her ass beat, but just because you want to see these two people more clearly, you climb all the way down, you go get in your car, pull up in front of their hotel room, turn your lights
and
on,
turn the lights on.
and
Sorry, I
then climb
apologize. I
back.
got a
But
phone
when the
call, so
woman's
I missed
getting
that.
her ass beat, you just sit up there and watch.
Right? Like, come on, Gerald.
I think Gay and Gerald both lied about all of it. I don't think any of it ever happened.
You're swaying me, Lily. You're swaying me. I didn't even think of that with my brain. I was just like, oh, because I guess I was just looking at it as, these men are just being disgusting again. What a surprise. Disgusting men. But
And how calculated is that? Like he just sat and wrote down all those charts and graphs and made it up. Like, I don't know.
And then the stuff he's mad about is the stuff I would be proud about. Oh, I've got a very expensive card, a baseball card like Mickey Mantle.
And and every single card is worth $1,000. This is worth $2,000 or $1 million.
Yeah.
This one, I have 6 of these and they're worth $1 million each.
Somehow he was Pawn Stars right in his head at everything. Oh, this is worth that. This is worth this. Like,
I think I might reach out to him for an interview. That would be amazing.
Is he still alive though?
Let's see. Hold on. I'm going to look him up. Let's see if he has an Instagram or something.
I don't think he has an Instagram.
We can probably get him on the panel right now.
Right.
Voyeur.
I'll leave him a message. Hey, Gerald. It's me.
Hey, Gerald.
A disappointment to my dad. Come join
I
us.
disappointed my daddy. Will you be my new daddy?
I'm a redhead with tattoos. Won't you come be
I
my
was thinking about I have freckles on my boobs.
Well, now you can get those freckle tattoos.
Gay Tilly, Gerald Foos. Okay, let's look up Gerald Foos' Instagram.
Oh, we were right about the name?
Mm-hmm. I'm about to look up Gay's Instagram too. Gerald Foos.
Yes, social media.
Gerald Foos' Instagram. I don't think this is the right one. Foos Gone Wild. Does Gerald Foods have? I don't know that he has an. Okay, let's look up Gay Tilly's. I know he has an Instagram. Gerald, I don't know if he could work Instagram. Gay Tilly's. Did I spell that right? T-A-L.
It was like Teelse, if I remember correctly.
T-A-L-E-S-E.
Okay.
Account. Okay, what's your freaking Instagram, Gay Tilly's? Well, he's 84 now.
Yeah.
Let's look up. And maybe he could at least give us Gerald's number or something. I bet Gerald might be on Facebook. Hold on.
Oh, you would definitely find him on like classmates.com or something.
Gay Tilly's my literary hero. He doesn't have Gay doesn't have an Instagram either. Okay, let's look up Gerald Foos. Not with an E. Hold on. Sorry.
So if you thought that they were going to internet date, like these two men are single, what do you think? What app do you think they would download to find a man like that? Are they Tinder men? Are they Bumble men? Are they Christian Mingle men?
I think Christian Mingle. I've heard Christian Mingle is the was this in Tyler, Texas? Oh, I think this might be his. Was it Tyler, Texas? Look what the first picture on here is. It's of someone in a.
That's a bed.
Yeah, did this happen in Tyler, Texas?
I don't think they gave away where it was, and I tried to Google it, but couldn't find it.
Voyeur Motel City. Manor House Motel. Okay, Gerald Foods. That was in Colorado. I need to find Gerald Foods.
That's going to be your mission.
But okay, Colorado. Okay, there's the documentary thing. Switch news, follow. Come on, I know you have an Instagram, Gerald. Don't make me try to sign into my MySpace.
I found him on my MySpace. I remember when I was like in my club days, there were some bangers back then. They don't make club music like they used to.
San Antonio, Texas. Okay, this guy, it seems suspicious that this guy has a post of a motel room. I'm going to add him as a friend. Hold on.
The saga continues. You'll have to keep us updated.
Let's message him right now.
Hi, do you like hotels?
Hi, are you the same, Gerald?
How do you feel about Kentucky Fried Chicken on your bed sheets? Do you like
Hello.
dogs? Have you ever witnessed a murder? Is your favorite color blue?
Are you the same Gerald that has a doll collection? No, that
Is your wife a
used
redhead?
to own a motel in Colorado.
Do we know the hotel is in Colorado? Because they never,
Yes, I
I
just
never
saw
heard it. Okay. Okay.
that. Okay, so we'll see. Maybe he'll get back to us.
Do you work for an HVAC company? How
Gay
about
didn't know
this?
about Google Maps. Yeah, none of them that did. Okay, so how can I wonder if I can look up Gerald Foos, Colorado. Where's like a people finder thing? It was in Aurora. One of the related searches is Gerald Foos baseball cards.
Do you like Mickey
Mm,
Mantle? Did you know that Mickey Mantle had a liver transplant and then drank the other liver away? And now there's rules on liver transplants?
Colorado. Let's look up phone number. Whitepages.com. Gerald Foos. No, hold on, not Gerald Good. Get results. Okay, Castle Rock. Is he 80 plus, you think?
Probably.
Or 60s?
Oh, no, not 60s. My parents are in their 60s. That my parents don't
Okay.
look that old. He aged
Okay.
pretty fast. He had nice dark hair, and then next time we saw him, it was all gray.
Okay, so best match Gerald Lee Foos, Brighton, Colorado.
I don't know any of the stalking things, so I can't help you.
Let's see. I think we can find this.
Do we really want to?
I would like to speak to him, yeah. Peoplefinder.com. Colorado. Here we go. 83. Let's see if it gives us a phone number. If not, I'll give up and work on this at a later time in private time. But I think Gerald would come on here if he could click the link. Can you imagine him trying to click the link for StreamYard?
He'd have his wife do it.
He
I love
would.
you, honey. I love you.
I love you, baby. I think you love me too. It's still spinning. Let's see. Please be patient. We're being patient. We just need Gerald's number. I know they have a landline.
Yeah, I would. I don't even see them walking around with cell phones. I don't see them as cell phone people.
They have a landline for sure. Okay.
Oh
I'll
yeah.
look that up at a later time. All right. Well, I'm about to start reviewing some YouTube streams and talking a little trash and doing Reddit
Okay.
posts. You want to stay on for that?
Mm,
You don't have to
I'm
participate. You can stay silent.
gonna jump down. I'm not into that drama.
I just like reviewing it. I can't help it. I'm gonna make another cocktail.
Everybody has their guilty pleasures. That just happens to not be mine. Some people like to
Okay.
watch people have sex. Some people like to watch people fight on YouTube. I'm sitting in a closet.
There you go. Well, I would love to
All
talk to you
right,
about like sex history and stuff sometime. Like I would love to
let's do
start
it.
listening. And I would love to have you back on here sometime. This is great.
I'll have better lighting. I'm just not at home tonight.
Your lighting is fabulous.
Thanks.
All
All right. Bye,
right.
everybody.
I'll talk to you later. Thank you so much. Bye, guys. Or
Bye.
bye. All right, guys. Hold on one second. I'm going to fix a cocktail. Hold on, I'm almost done. All right, guys, I'm back. So that documentary is really fabulous. If you have not seen it, let's go back to readings and posts on Reddit, and then we might listen to a couple of streams and do a recap. So next post on Reddit. Did Yates just post a Christmas pic of him, Cody, and Natalie on his IG? Looks like her. I don't know what Natalie looks like, so I don't know. Someone said the title of this post is Siwa. Moon, get off your high horse. You beg for money for sandwiches. You call people dirtbags for sending you money. You attack everyone. You belittle people from the community who honestly have never actually done anything to you, while befriending those who have. You need to reevaluate your morals, because that's not what led you to pick two very bad men. You need to seriously just stop. You keep talking about people who don't talk about you, and eventually you'll meet the wrong one. Somebody posted, why the fuck are dumbass Mims and TL on live silent? Fucking waste of time, weirdos. I'm sure the bee is coming. So there's a post about this, and I wonder if this is true later. Hold on. Like D or don't, but her chat is hilarious tonight, making fun of Mims. That was 19 hours ago, so we might have to listen to that. Somebody posted, let me get this straight, and please correct me if I'm wrong. JJ's mother is in hospice care, yet she is panel hopping, and Maria's husband's friend passed away, and she had to go live about D. You're incapable of dealing with the real world, and we don't know any of you. Something is wrong. Someone posted, Terry Lynn, quick note, you spoke on someone else's trauma. Are you high, or are you just that dumb? Someone posted, Maria, when did I say you made a comment telling CM to go after Jules? I posted everything I said here. I said you told him about Jules, and he went after Jules because of the info you gave. Stop trying to twist your lies. Get some sleep. You're about to be a grandma. Get your life together. Jam. Someone posted, we might listen to Siwa's that we started the other night. Siwa and Star didn't like people talking shit about Muzz because they felt like people are going too far. But look at Siwa going after Jen. Practice what you preach. Wait till Yates sees this one. Yahoo Boy meets Drazo. Wonder how that happened. Fucking Drazo. John Yates shares his latest pregnancy photos. Is that Natalie? I don't know if that's Natalie or not, but this is a picture. And that's the latest one. So let's see. Let's go to Siwa and listen to, because apparently she got real upset and we started recapping it last night. Let me go through everything.
So Sorry,
Hold
you
on.
can't relate
Let
because
me
you
turn on
never
my
put
little dog.
anybody else before yourself. But I knew it was going to cause that drift, that divide. Once I spoke out against that, I didn't care.
So it is what it is. And another reason, I don't get the reason. What's another one? Oh, no, I had another
She's
one.
trying to think of another reason.
Dang it, I forgot what the other one was. I knew I had a bunch of, but anyways, I'm fine. I'm fine, Maria. Like, seriously, the only reason you got any views because you did it leeching off of John. So you might want to shut the fuck up.
Siwa handing out ass whippings and lollipops, all lollipops.
Oh, is that so? Oh, well, there's that. Okay, today, two people that don't again understand why John was up here. And like, she called him a predator, a scammer, and a drunk. Yeah, he still is.
Damn,
How does that
Siwa.
make me pathetic? Because I had him up. I don't.
We're gonna call this segment Siwa say what?
How many times I can say this? I was being stalked in real life, not just YouTube. Anywhere I went, I was being doxxed, not just YouTube.
Says Siwa, the most beautiful person in the world, was being stalked everywhere she went.
I would do whatever it took to get the information I needed to put a stop to it. I don't care who it was from. Were there other options and I decided to go with John just because? No, there weren't other options.
No other options.
First it was Jen. I was hoping Jen would give it. She didn't give it. She bolted. So that didn't work. And then John was the only person
Something with Jen didn't work.
left. I actually was hoping the person that did it would come forward and apologize in that video, but didn't get that either, which is fine now.
No apology.
Get something done. Not behind everybody's backs. It was not that I have been here. Drop her under their wing. Do we have confirmation it's a shirt or a Kleenex this time?
It's about other people as well that I've confronted.
It's in the
Okay,
last two.
this is when Bella is upset about something.
I think that whole situation was the night before this, actually. I think that was
Bella gets on here and gets fired up.
This was the second stream John did. He had already did the one where Johnny Mac came and went up on John. And they talked and all that. Remember that? And he shared those words. Then that ended. And then John did another stream by himself. And the cops showed up and they're knocking. And he doesn't answer the door.
People call the cops on John Yates a lot. Like, they come over there a lot.
Yes. And he finally answers because they're not going away. That's what it is. This is the second stream that everyone is asking for.
So what is she? Is she playing John's stream right now?
It must be so sad that things can help you grow through these efforts legally. I don't know how people get away with this shit. It's harassment, and I'm not saying mental abuse.
Mental abuse.
I can't stop it. These people.
Oh, she's playing a stream from John.
I don't talk about that. Oh, I didn't encourage her. Sorry. Oh, please never say that again. Get me out of your mouth.
Okay, let's fast forward to Bella because I can't hear.
Oh my god, not the 33 for new laptop. He should have quit. Oh, wait, won't let me go. No.
Don't let him.
Look at the rest of it.
Where's
I
Bella?
don't hear it.
Because Bella comes
I
up,
don't hear it.
and spoiler alert, she's
I don't know how much
pissed.
more she spent. She bought the whole fucking thing. But I'm a scammer, mind you. Just really want me to go. If you want to take the one out, and it was 600.
I want no sympathy from anybody, and I didn't want to reach out and bother
Okay, here we
you.
go.
No.
Bella wants to come on the panel.
For you have your name's on it. And like since when the last 2 hours. Anyways, if you want to go watch it, I would just ask why. Because she said she heard it too and she's seen it too. Letting me know if you're comfortable with it. So listening. I'm nervous. I don't know if they want their name out there.
Bella,
You know
where
who
are...
I am, and I don't care about my name being out there.
Okay, here we go.
All right, here we go. Hello.
Hello. You know who I am, and I don't care about my name being out there.
I do.
We all know who you are by that voice, that angelic voice.
That's how you
Nothing to you.
Okay.
I sent you that message today, not only to help out the community, but also the other thing that I read in them. I want
What
no
message?
sympathy from anybody or anything. I end up in hospital for 2 weeks.
I want no sympathy from anyone, but I've been in the hospital for 2 weeks.
When?
A couple of weeks ago.
Wow, that's news to me. I'm just now hearing that.
Yes, I had an
Why would you
epilepsy
not say that?
seizure, and it was a real bad one.
But she wants
I'm
no
sorry to hear
sympathy.
It's okay, and you know how it feels when we have one. I want no sympathy from anybody, and I come back in here to help people in the world. I'm wanting you
What's she gonna do to help people in the world? We are the world.
to expose people
Okay.
and let the truth out there.
Well, if you got proof of something that you think will help the community, let
I've
me
got
know.
more than that. I've got more than what
She's got proof that's gonna help the community. What is it?
I sent you tonight.
Jeez.
Tell us what you
I
sent.
confronted that person.
What
But I was
person?
scared to reach out to you because you had blocked me on one of them, and I had blocked you from 2 other of my social medias. And I didn't want to reach out and bother you about it. I'm not doing it for brownie points or anything, but after what the struggles that I went through and what we
What struggles? What message? What is going on? What are you talking about, Bella?
have to go through on a daily basis, you want to change this world. It's time that you make changes.
She's trying to
See
change
what?
the world.
It's time that you make changes. You stand up for yourself, girl. And it's not only you.
Bella's gonna start with the man in the mirror. I'm starting with the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to make a change, Bella.
Behind the scenes, it's about other people as well that I've confronted this other person about as well.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't talked to her.
I'm just saying, just with that one, you've seen how it was.
I can only imagine
What are you talking about, Bella?
what else there is with that person, because that person is a big freaking problem.
Yes.
Who is the person that's the big freaking
In the
problem?
future, though, even in messages, if you don't mind, just don't give my real name.
Okay, sorry.
It's okay.
Don't give Siwa's real name. Don't we know it?
Sorry.
It's okay. You didn't
I
know.
just seen it on the I've seen it in the past on the on the app that I use. In the past before, and I thought that you
In the
can
past.
use it in the background. But
You know, then I said, please don't call me my legal name.
okay,
I promise.
Her legal name, her Christian name.
It's okay. It's
I'm
just,
sorry.
it's all right. You
I
didn't
was
know.
going to say it on here, but lucky I didn't.
Lucky.
And I got upset with you, and you know what I said. I'm sorry about that because there was a point that it didn't work anymore, but then it started working again.
So what she's saying is that Bella, got upset because she purchased a spell from Siwa and she thought that it did not work, but she was mistaken and it started working.
Wanting to be a bigger person and saying sorry to you.
I appreciate that. I don't even know what I was said, but I don't really watch when my haters talk about me, I don't really watch streams like that.
No, she doesn't watch it.
Most of what
No
you
one
said,
does.
don't worry, I don't even know what you said. So,
But please be careful in future about the person that I used to bring up all the time.
Who, Bella?
The stuff with W.
Ugh.
What is that?
Person that I used to bring up all the time. Okay? The stuff with W.
The stuff with W. Who is W?
Blocked and everybody.
Yeah. You've been watching from the bushes. She does that to everybody.
Yeah, but she's not welcome. She knows that. Anytime she comes in or clicks a link, I boot her right back out.
The only
Bam.
reason why
Right
I
back
use
out.
this account is because I'm blocked from the other one when I tried earlier.
She's blocked from the other one, so she snuck in.
So, a lot of people still
Oh, that's fine if we are, but at the end of the day, I just wanted to say, and I'm not coming here for brownie points or sympathy. No, that's
No
not me.
sympathy.
But I wanted to right my rights from wrongs.
Well,
Bella's had a crisis of conscience.
I've got the medical team around me. You know how it is.
Yes.
Sorry, I can't watch a chat. I'm on my phone.
Usually the week battle's pretty bad after seizures like that. Or yes, that's definitely normal for a few weeks afterwards.
And I didn't break my nose.
Jeez.
She doesn't want sympathy, but she also broke her nose.
And I had bruising all over my face, my arms, and whatever. But I'm not going to get into it because it's really.
She's not going to get into it.
Well.
Probably Boy has kind of a funny question if you're open for it. To me, I'm not good. He says, am I still under Australian cyber investigation?
No.
No, not.
Oh, I'm just wanting one thing out of respect. People not bringing up the motherboard anymore because it's coming up to a big thing.
So the Australian FBI went and took Bella's motherboard, I think, if I remember correctly. And she proved this to us by showing us an empty iPad case.
Sarah, and you know how it's having to face you and my ex again and whatever. That's a triggering point for me.
She's triggered.
Let's have an honest conversation. Yeah. The reason the motherboard got so big is because of what was said with the motherboard, and it kept broken.
I'm going to be open and honest with it. Okay. My ex, the one that caused serious injury to me.
Yes.
All of that evidence is on there.
Oh.
Like one of my, triggers. For instance, my ex is triggered. I don't see it.
Because everybody was asking about it.
Everyone was asking about the motherboard. Okay, so let's see. I'm hearing that there's lots of drama with memes. Let's see what's going on over here. No, not that one. Okay. So let's look at her last live 13 hours ago. It says, let's chat. It was 10 hours. Messy memes. I'm not going to play her.
You look really, really bad. You should just be bathing instead of doing all
Jules
this
is on here too.
Because once again, we can smell.
Oh. So let's get the backstory here.
Everybody has the right.
Let's see where she starts.
Had anything doing it, and that's wait for her.
All right, guys. I hear there is. Well, let's see. Hold on.
Defamation. Yeah, it totally is. And so how is there?
All right, guys. I hear there's a lot of drama going on with Mims and Maria, so it's hard to compete with the stream with that. So I'm going to come back later and cover this live and the drama that's going on, and we're going to discuss that after the drama happens, because that's what we do. So drink your cocktails. Thank you so much for everyone who is watching, subscribing. Please help me with the fundraiser and send super chats or cash apps to support the channel. And also half of the donations half of the contributions between now and December 22nd will go to the Linus Project, which helps cold children that need blankets. And I know that's not a super fun Christmas gift, but it's something they need. So I may see you guys in a couple hours or something. It's Friday. I can stay up as late as I want because I'm grown up. So anyway, guys, thank you so much. And thank you everyone who has donated so far. Thank you for watching. Let's tune into the drama and circle back. Bye, guys.